Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing the first half. We're so far ahead. First half of this week's What Sold video. It'll be for this week, Monday through Thursday, June 29th through July 2nd. Lots of sales on the other platforms. I have sales on all 6 of them again to share with you. So I'm impressed. I just keep saying it. I'm impressed.
I'm going to do some figuring,
Okay.
and we're going to see how the last month or so has gone on the other platforms compared to eBay, which used to be, well, for a while it was the only thing we did was eBay. That was it.
And we threw in Etsy and Poshmark and then lost Poshmark and threw in Mercari and lost Mercari. Not lost them, but I just lost interest in them.
She's like these, like Rebel with these platforms until this year has been like when I was a cop and I would go to these calls and there would be the couple that would be having a problem, and then next week they were together again, and then 2 weeks later they weren't together again, and then a month later they were together again. That's how Rebel has been with these platforms until this year, and how easy Nifty is made. I'll dig up the numbers. We'll talk about it here in a bit.
All right. We're leaving tomorrow for our trip to Missouri. So, or
when you're reading this, watching this, we're leaving 6 days ago.
We're leaving on the 4th of July. How about that? So hopefully traffic will not be an issue because everybody's going to be where they want to be, I hope. Let me go ahead and share with you some of the things that are selling for us right now. First, we have on Mercari these mushroom design enamel pots, saucepans, lids, set of 2, sold for $26.36. And then Manhattan Toy Elephant Plush sold for $8. Dandy. I don't talk about that brand very much anymore, but I've got a little bit of it still listed. This monkey sold for $8. Nintendo Blue Bomb Plush sold for $9.95. And then this wood duck decoy decoration, I don't know, from 1986, sold for $22.45. And then on Etsy, had 2 sales to share. First was a Thai classic Rabble puppy dog plush, sold for $19.95. And another Thai classic Stubbs the Basset Hound, sold for $14.95. And then on Poshmark, had this Carter's Whale Lovey from 2023, sold for $20. Wildlife Artists Finnick Fox Plush sold for $10. And these Hasbro Weebles Western Wagon and Little Rocking Chair from 1974 sold for $11. Then I had 3 Whatnot sales. First was this Shrek 2 football plush, sold for $12. Giant Microbes, the tapeworm plush, sold for $20. And then my Play School Snuzzles baby doll. I had it for a while. I've got other Snuzzles. I just decided to go ahead and list this, and it sold very quickly on Whatnot for $34.95. And then other than eBay, Depop was my second best platform. Let me show you some of these sales. This was a Baby Alive replacement sippy cup, sold on an offer for $6. A Color Block plush clown by Northeast Import, sold for $12.20. A lot of my old low dollar stuff is moving over there, but some of the higher dollar stuff too. This was another one of those U.S. stamp pins. This one was from the Wildlife Conservation, sold for $8.95. I have 1 left. That's crazy because we had a bunch. This is a Wild Republic little brown baby seal plush, sold for an offer of $7. Fun World, I just listed this. This was one of those things I picked up at the bins in Dayton, Ohio. Tons of dolls. This was just what was called a floppy tots, right on their tag, sold for $9. This is a Culver's plush Scoopy, sold for $8.50. Still going. This is a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Gabby. Gabby wanted these mini bud vases that are shaped like posable people, and they sold for $14.95. And then Disney Cruise Line Chip and Pluto plush set sold for a $9 offer. Last but not least, an American Girl doll. This is Leah Clark. She was the doll of the year for 2014, and I got a $50 offer for her. And then eBay. Jake and the Neverland Pirates. I don't find very much of that anymore. It was from 2011, so it's been quite a few years since they came out with that whole series. This sold for $16.95. Halloween smiley face plush has the little Halloween hat on, witch's hat, sold for an offer of $20. Lego Duplos building blocks. I tend to pick up these blocks when I'm at the bins if it has, you know, some specialty pieces. These were animals. They had fence pieces, had some of the base plates. It was definitely worth the time to scoop it all up. Sold for an offer of $27. Angel Deer. I like that brand of loveys. They all have this little odd shape. This was a one-eyed alien, and it sold for $11.66.
So I've been over here with the abacus doing some work. And so what I've come up with is, in the last 4 weeks, pulled these numbers from Nifty. Made it easy for me. In their profit and loss inside their
analytics.
Analytics, that's the word I'm looking for. You have sold $3,500. Well, you sold more, but after deducting for refunds, you sold $3,500 on eBay in the last 4 weeks and $2,500 on the other platforms in the last 4 weeks. So the other platforms aren't matching eBay.
They're close.
But, you know, you're looking at, what is it, 5 to 7? So they're 5/7 of it, which is, you know, well more than half. So
and
that's
before
pretty good.
January, all I was really doing was Etsy. eBay and Etsy were my only two platforms. So crazy how much of a difference somebody convincing me that we needed to give this Nifty a try, because I'd have never been able to get this much stuff cross-listed without using it. So crazy.
I have to thank Bob and Amanda over at Rocket City Resellers and Fiona Fines for helping nudge her a little bit, because I'm not worried at this point about Nifty getting behind, because they're on the ball with it. They are releasing new features. They just released their pricing module, you know, where you could have different pricing schedules on the different platforms. And by the time you're seeing this, we will have a video released where I actually have mine set up that shows how my prices are comparing, are being configured on the different platforms using that. But Nifty has been wonders for us.
Yeah, and as far as Whatnot and Depop, I probably have maybe a quarter of my eBay listings cross-listed right now. Next thing that sold on eBay was this Gund G50 teddy bear plush. Now this one is surprising because there were very few solds and there were a lot of listed. Yet mine sold almost immediately. Let's see. Mine sold probably within one day of selling right after I listed it on eBay for an offer of $13. So just because the sell-through rate ain't looking that great, you never know. It could have been that this person was near me and my shipping was better. Maybe they liked the fact that I offered free returns. I don't know, but for some reason, even though there were others listed, mine sold in one day. All right, Knickerbocker, Holly Hobby's friend Carrie's dress. The doll itself ended up being too damaged And I just went ahead and took the dress off and listed it, sold it for $20. All right, yard lawn chair webbing. There was a time that these sold very, very well, and I sold lots of them. But I had these just leftover remnants, pieces and parts and partial bags, and I just decided to dump them out and go ahead and get them listed. And they finally sold $12.75, but not something I will pick up again. Vintage decorative wall plate with a tavern scene. Robert picked this up. It's been a while ago, a long while ago. And it was one of those things I even contemplated when I do my inventory, I wasn't going to keep it anymore because it had been listed that long and it's a little bit big, but it finally sold $18. Teddy Companion Bear Plush. Sold for $11.65. These next two was to one buyer. She bought the Dandy Rabbit Rattle Lovey for $8.96, the blue one, and the pink one. This one also sold for $8.96. Mattel Masters of the Universe. These were pieces and parts to a Snake Mountain, sold for $26.95. Children's Corner pattern. I bought a whole little small basket of them at a church sale for $5 several years ago. I've sold several of them, and this particular one ended up selling for $25. Masterpieces, the Last Seam Jigsaw Puzzle. Very patriotic, and it was new sealed. Sold for $11.66. Dr. Seuss Grinch Pillow, sold for an offer of $10. Baby, Minnie, and Mickey Mouse Quilt, sold for $29.66. I've been selling the heck out of baby blankets. This is Aurora Calico Cat Plush, sold for $11. Truckin' magazines, y'all. More of them. These were from 1983. I was missing one of the editions, I guess they're called. And it still sold on an offer for $30. Matthew C. I was cleaning off our own homeschool curriculum shelf, and I found this instruction manual and DVD, and it sold for $26.95 in about 4 days. Right now, if you've got homeschool curriculum, parents are looking. They spend the summer looking for the curriculum that they're going to use next year. So get it listed. If you find it, get it listed. Life Stride women's little snappy sandals, sold for $10. But our best sale was something we picked up at the bins in Dayton. We sold this, The Games People Play board game. It was based on a book from 1967, and it sold on an international sale for $106. Robert had, let's see, 3 sales on Poshmark. First was this Leather Gallery women's leather blazer jacket, sold for $25. We picked this up at a yard sale. I want to say it was $2 or $3. Leather jacket selling in, yeah, it's hot in here. Our AC is not working, in 90+ degree weather. Picked this up at a yard sale recently. I actually picked up a Brighton purse and bought it for $1. And when I got home and looked inside of it, this wallet was also in there. It is just small little share was the, I guess, the style. And it sold very, very quickly on Poshmark for $25. And then these Tommy Hilfiger women's denim shorts sold for $13. All right, and then on eBay, first thing were these Levi's women 512 jeans. They are actually 10 long. Anytime we find jeans where the size are long, they sell. This sold for $14. Stride Right, baby shoes. I picked these up at the bins one time. Between them bringing out new stuff, I went and picked up a couple of baby shoes. They sold for $10.83. And Taylor Loft women's 2 petite jeans sold for $15.01. American Eagle women's crop jeans sold for an offer of $14. Talbots. These were some just side zip pants sold for $15. And then some Dickies men carpenter jeans sold for $19.68. All right, we have some packing to do. Not working out here. It is too hot. But I hope you guys enjoy. I know this is going to be after the fact, but I hope you have enjoyed your long holiday weekend. And we'll be back in a week to start this all over again. All right, get to work. Bye.